the big one here? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Single ship.
Oh.
And then it's the middle one. One shot. One shot.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
But, hey, we can do that too.
No, I didn't know.
So, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'll do 12.
I shot 12, right?
Yeah. So I'll shoot 12.
Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. In the late 50s, early 1960s, the hottest things on television were westerns. And at the box office as well, and everybody was mad for it. And a bunch of single-action revolvers were introduced by various companies. Ruger made their fame with the Black Hawk revolver in addition to their standard .22 semi-automatic pistol. And everybody wanted in. Of course, lever-action guns are complicated and therefore somewhat expensive. So Ithaca decided to make a lever action, except theirs is a single-shot shotgun. And all the lever does is release the barrel. For people who wanted a Western look in a simple, affordable gun. Now, the 12 gauge was introduced in 1963 and made until 1974. 20 gauge was introduced in 64, and 410 was introduced in 1966. Various versions of this were made, including a short-barreled shotgun in 20 and 12 gauge with rifle sights, which was introduced in 67. And they had a vent rib model, they had all sorts of things. Now this is a 410 in the standard 28-inch barrel. And it's kind of an interesting gun. They were not wildly successful because, frankly, the lever action to open the single-shot shotgun had limited appeal and is, frankly, not all that good an idea. But it is what it is. They were made into the tens of thousands. I've seen serial numbers of 25,000 or more. This one is 108,500, but I don't think they made 105,000 of these between 66 and 78 when production was discontinued. So we're going to have a look at the receiver because that's the only part that's really interesting on the tabletop, and it's the only part that fits. Let's do that. So this was very much meant to be an economy gun, and this shows in the cast alloy receiver and cast alloy lever. I don't know what the alloy is, but it's probably something like Zamac, a zinc aluminum alloy. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a steel insert for the breech and firing pin. Now, typically, shotguns like this, even inexpensive ones, had a mechanism inside so that you could pop the forearm off. This one is retained by a screw, another cost-saving measure. The wood is, it's kind of a cheap wood, but it's attractive and it's well finished. And of course, the plastic butt plate is very standard stuff. The big party trick here, of course, is that you release the breech with a lever, and there is an ejector which works quite well. It locks up nice and tight, and so you would load it, cock the hammer, and you're ready to go. And the hammer is the rebounding type that rebounds and locks back so that it can't strike the cartridge if there is a round in the chamber and the gun is uncocked. Trigger pulls nice. It has a serrated trigger, at least serrated on the edges. Very strange. The trigger pull is good. It's light, crisp, very reasonable. And like most full-length 410s, it chokes down quite far to about 38 caliber, and of course is unrifled. It shoots nicely. You can see the markings here. This is M66 Supersingle 410 bore 3-inch chamber, proof tested. And yeah, it's pretty basic and was pretty cheap, but they seem to have been a very serviceable shotgun. Throughout the 20th century, there was a huge market for single-barreled shotguns, and they were available quite inexpensively. I think I bought a brand new single-barrel 16-gauge in '82 for $85 retail. And it was a perfectly good, serviceable shotgun. This is even more inexpensively constructed. There's nothing wrong with that because they seem to have held up just fine. I don't hear a lot of tales of breakage of these, even in the cast receiver. What this really, the only thing it really offered, other than possibly being a little cheaper, I don't know, is the lever action, release, and appearance, which honestly is a pretty dubious feature. And again, the market seems to have reflected this. These were never immensely popular. You know, they're surprisingly common now, and typically go for values are really all over the place. You can pick them up anywhere from $100 to $350, depending on the exact model, condition, etc. And you know, it's a perfectly good shotgun. It's just the lever is kind of pointless pandering to market forces that does not seem to have been extremely successful. So, still a good old shotgun, useful, patterns nicely, pleasant to fire, and everything works. So, I'd like to shout out to my supporters on Patreon. This all costs money, and your contributions help more than you know. If you would like to donate and join my supporters on Patreon, there's a link in the description below. I'd also like to thank channel benefactors who do things like loan me interesting shotguns to show to you and help in 1,000 ways. And thank you. It makes the channel so much better. So, that's it for this time. I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.